Now a break in the case of a double in Miramar.
2 people now behind bars, including a South Florida rapper.
That's right, and take a look here. Just moments ago, we obtained this rapper's mugshot from the Broward County Jail. Local 10 news cameras were rolling back in October outside the Miramar Memorial Hospital emergency room. Detectives say the 2 arrived here in this 2018 Jeep, the back windshield appearing to be
reportedly because of YNW Bortlen's actions. The YNW Melly retrial has been postponed once more, this time until 2027. It began with the announcement that Melly's double murder retrial, which had been anticipated to proceed shortly, would suddenly be postponed, in order to give the state attorney's office time to consider a motion they submitted. The 4th District Court of Appeals granted a delay in the case on Friday, August 8th. The trial will now formally begin in January 2027 instead of September. As a result of this stay, part of the reason for the delay is that there have been rumors that prosecutors are negotiating a possible agreement with YNW Bortlen. According to sources, the agreement might entail Bortlen participating, which would greatly increase the importance of his involvement in the forthcoming procedures. A no communication order has been filed in the case, further restricting the situation. Even through their lawyers, Melly and Bortlen are prohibited from communicating at all by this injunction. By keeping Bortlen and Melly apart until the next trial, prosecutors are allegedly trying to coerce him into testifying.
Here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Melly's chances of winning the next trial could be severely harmed if prosecutors are able to get YNW Bortlen to cooperate. Bortlen's testimony could support and bolster the prosecution's current evidence because he was intimately involved in the case's occurrences. When the judge decided that Melly and Bortlen would be tried together in the next sessions, this prospect became even more obvious. When the trial eventually restarts, the state may find it much simpler to persuade the jury of Melly's guilt if they have Bortlen on their side as a witness, who can provide information from inside the case.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Demmons, pending whatever future motion that I may hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay?
So, Mr. Haddad, for now, Mr. Henry will remain set for trial alongside YNW Melly, said Judge Martin Fime, speaking to Bortlen's lawyer at the beginning of Wednesday's session, indicating that the 2 will stand trial together despite the date being delayed far into the future. This arrangement puts Bortlen in a tough situation because it's impossible to imagine him sitting quietly and taking a life sentence to protect someone who used to be his best friend if he knows he didn't do the crime, given that Melly allegedly attempted to place the blame on him at the initial trial. Such pressure alone makes it more likely that he may place the responsibility on Melly. After that initial attempt to shift culpability, the 2 actually lost contact and haven't spoken in years. They are now co-defendants going to the same courtroom rather than comrades.
Those were his lives. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
The reason for this is that YNW, Melly's own attorney, actually made the case in court that YNW Bortlen had been deceiving federal investigators. The defense emphasized that Bortlen was the last person seen with Juvie and Sakasar before they were killed, and that he was discovered with gunpowder residue on his hands. They also brought in a forensic scientist who had investigated the case to support that allegation, which enabled them to provide thorough testimony implying Bortlen was the culprit. By portraying Bortlen as the main suspect, this tactic successfully sparked a legal dispute that now poses the possibility of reversing roles in the retrial.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was residue present on the hands.
At this time, shortly after Melly's mistrial was announced, YNW Bortlen formally severed their relationship. According to a rumor that appeared that same day, Bortlen tweeted a mysterious message that said, "Mind games don't work on people like me," followed by an emoji of a handshake, seemingly indicating that he had agreed to a deal. This is particularly troubling because, based on what detectives allegedly discovered during a search of Bortlen's residence, he now has every reason to testify against Melly.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
Investigators reportedly found handwritten notes that raised severe concerns during the raid of YNW Bortlen's house. Detailed physical descriptions of each juror, as well as sketches on paper depicting their sitting arrangements during Melly's trial, were among the documents discovered. The fact that these sketches were reportedly created prior to Melly's own attorneys placing the blame on Bortlen in court only serves to heighten the anxiety. Many have speculated that Bortlen may have been planning to take action against the jurors if they found Melly guilty of the charges, because of the time.
Keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They're like, oh, okay, thank you, brother.
This is where Melly's situation can become even more problematic. YNW Bortlen might be able to corroborate and bolster a large portion of the fresh evidence the prosecutors are getting ready to use against him. A Facebook post featuring Melly and Young Thug is allegedly one of the main items they are concentrating on, in an effort to bolster their case and create a more extensive criminal association. Prosecutors are trying to connect Melly to the same Red Street gang membership that Young Thug is said to be a member of.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons having big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and these individuals again, I'm assuming that's also the young thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and catch.
INW in court. Melly has even gone so far as to urge his attorneys to simply let the prosecutors utilize that piece of evidence. Since Melly is certain that a deal has already been reached, he appears to think Bortlen will ultimately confirm it nevertheless. According to reports, this recent hearing marked the first time Melly openly went against his own legal teams. Advice in front of the judge. Witnesses say he was seen raising his voice at his attorneys, making it clear that the evidence would be backed up one way or another. Deal or no deal.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You object to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
People inside the courtroom reportedly overheard Melly saying, "I don't care. I'm not in any gang. They can't prove it." It showed that Melly was confident, at least in that moment, that the state wouldn't be able to solidly link him to any organized group, despite their claims.
Where 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the definitely
Sorry.
aggravator, that's the enhancement self-owner. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further conviction, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
They also plan to introduce new testimony from a former O Block member who is now turned against YNW Melly. According to this witness, King Von once shared a private conversation he had with Melly before his death. At the time, Melly and Von were close friends, and Melly allegedly asked Von for advice on how to deal with certain people, implying removing them permanently. This statement, if allowed in court, could be used to suggest Melly had intentions or a mindset connected to serious criminal actions even before his arrest.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
Now, prosecutors will have 2 full years to work on making this evidence admissible in court. If they succeed, YNW Melly could be facing a life sentence. The bigger issue for Melly is that this isn't the only case that carries the possibility of life in prison. For those who haven't followed the trial closely, Melly also has another ongoing case that could result in the same sentence. The only reason he avoided a guilty verdict in the first trial was because his ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, fled the United States and avoided testifying against him. However, just last month, she attempted to re-enter the country, which could reopen the door for her to be brought in as a witness.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
When Mariah Hamilton returned to the United States, she was arrested immediately. Her time in jail was reportedly unpleasant, and during her first court appearance, the judge presented her with an offer. If she agreed to testify against Melly and be truthful about everything, she would be released. She accepted the deal without hesitation. This development is a major setback for Melly. Shortly after, she posted on Facebook, thanking her supporters and writing, "God's plan, not mine." Her role now is to verify the troubling evidence found in her iCloud, which allegedly shows Melly pressuring her not to testify, a move considered witness tampering. If she confirms this in court, Melly will almost certainly face a life sentence.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering case is completely separate from Melly's existing case involving the deaths of Sackhazer and Juvie. There's a possibility, however slim, that Melly could be found not guilty in the Sackhazer and Juvie case. But the situation changes entirely if Mariah confirms the text messages showing Melly pressuring her not to testify. In that scenario, even if he walks free from the double homicide charges, the witness tampering case alone could ensure he spends the rest of his life in prison.
Are now charged with witness tampering. There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
And like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
One because of Melly's alleged witness tampering over jail phones. He's been banned from using a phone for more than a year. The situation got so serious that his mother, Jamie King, spoke out in an interview, calling out the county jail for their restrictions. She claimed they won't let her son make phone calls or even read his own mail, painting the picture of how tightly controlled his communication has become while awaiting trial.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
If the claims are accurate that Melly was using the jail phone for witness tampering, that would explain why he's been kept off the phones. Authorities likely have that evidence stored since they wouldn't risk such restrictions without proof. Otherwise, it could lead to a huge multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Because of this, Jamie King has shared how heartbroken she feels for her son. She says the situation leaves her helpless, watching him be treated in a way that she feels strips him of basic human dignity.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
This situation quickly caught the attention of the media, especially within the rap industry. Charleston White chimed in, saying this is exactly the kind of treatment YW Melly should be getting. In his view, Melly doesn't deserve any special privileges just because he's a rapper, especially if he really used jail phones to interfere with witnesses.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing, about being mistreated, when you done chose to play somebody.
But this also drew the attention of rap veteran Moosey, who spoke on the struggles Jamie King has been facing. He related it to his own life, sharing that his mother went through a similar situation, which gave him a real understanding of the stress and pain she might be dealing with right now.
Okay, so then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she she real, bro. You know she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
Melly recently scored a major win in court that could possibly lead to him getting a release date. To break down when Melly might be able to get out on bond, you first need to understand what happened with an FBI agent who took the stand. This particular agent specializes in analyzing cell phone data. According to reports, Melly's defense team questioned the FBI agent about his analysis of Melly's phone activity during the time of the crime.
Based on the information, you can't really tell the court precisely which locations these phones are following in, can you?
One of the limitations of cellular analysis is that you can only say a general area where the device would be at a given time.
All right. So even with the general analysis, all of the stuff that we've gone through for about 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you can never give an exact location.
True.
And could you tell if somebody was walking around a car with the phone? Would you be able to tell that?
No.
So it'd be your testimony that this phone, 9807, could be from here to here, correct?
Yes.
Yes, while the FBI agent shared key details, it was the next witness that gave Melly a major win in court. A DNA specialist was then called to the stand, tasked with reviewing DNA evidence on several items that were collected from the crime scene, including objects inside the Jeep where the incident took place. According to reports, the DNA analyst confirmed that Melly's DNA was not detected on multiple items recovered at the scene. This revelation gave Melly's defense a strong point, as it weakens the direct physical connection between him and the crime.
So going to item number 22, the swab from the Gucci sandals. We're able to compare the profile from Mr. Devins as opposed to the profile developed from those sandals.
I did, and he was excluded.
The stain on the front of the t-shirt, item number 23, we're able to compare Mr. Devins' profile to that.
I did a comparison, and he was again excluded.
What about item number 24, the cutting of the stain of the rear of the t-shirt?
After comparisons were done, he was excluded.
Okay, then on item number 25, the swab of stain from the Air Jordans.
Again, an exclusion.
Going on to item number 26, the swab from the yellow jacket.
An exclusion as well.
And in terms of the item number 27 and 28, the swabs at the Gatorade bottles. What were the results on that?
Those were both exclusions.
However, investigators did confirm that Melly's DNA was present on the Jeep's door handle, which isn't surprising since he was seen entering the driver's side of the vehicle. What raises new questions, though, is the role of rapper Fredo Bang. Prosecutors now claim they have evidence showing that Fredo picked Melly up shortly after. The incident took place and later dropped him off at a nearby house. This detail shifts the focus, as it suggests there may have been outside involvement or at least some form of assistance given to Melly following the crime.
And Chris Thomas. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone call.
But this is where things could take a serious turn against Melly. Bortlen will be in a position to explain not only why Fredo Bang picked him up, but also provide context for what happened just hours after the incident. Around 5 hours later, prosecutors revealed that Melly sent a text message that read, "I did that." With Bortlen cooperating, he could validate the meaning of that message and directly tie it back to Melly's involvement, making the prosecution's case much stronger.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But he would also be able to explain why prosecutors introduced this updated evidence against Melly. What Melly didn't realize at the time was that he had been caught on video just hours after the incident. In the footage, Melly is seen in a parking lot dancing alongside Bortlen.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! So no, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing no sign of grief over the loss of their two close friends. The footage paints a troubling picture of their state of mind just hours after the tragedy. This leaves many wondering about Melly's true role in the case. Do you think YNW Melly is guilty of this crime? Or do you believe there's more to the story that hasn't been revealed yet? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like if you've been a supporter of Melly's music.